Hi, everybody. Welcome. As you're coming in, I'm just going to introduce the session and then I'm going to pass it over to Megan to get you started. So welcome to one of the virtual college exploration webinars through WACAC. Just so that you kind of know how this will work for you, you can ask questions by submitting them through the Q&A function, and Megan will be able to see those questions and respond to them live, so feel free to do that. Your camera and your microphone are turned off for you, so you don't need to worry about doing that manually as you come in. You can feel free to sign up for more sessions by going to www.wacac.com. So if there are other things that you'd like to see through this program, you should feel welcome to do that. And then if you have a family member or a guardian or a friend who you knew also had interest in this particular session, you can send them to WACAC's website because the recording will be available for you there. So this is Megan. She's an admission counselor at UW Green Bay. And so I'm going to pass it over to her to lead you through the session for the next 45 minutes.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to go ahead and get my screen shared here. Can I just get a thumbs up? Make sure you can see that. Awesome. My name is Megan. I am an admissions counselor at UW Green Bay. As we mentioned before, please do not hesitate to use that Q&A function throughout the presentation. I do have the presentation up on one screen and the Q&A up on the other, so I will be answering the questions throughout. So if you do have a question about something that I said or something else you're wondering about, please don't hesitate to use that. But I will go ahead and get us started here. So thank you so much for joining the session. I do want to start off with a little bit more information about our campus structure. So those of you who are familiar with the UW system, the public institutions in the state of Wisconsin, we did go through a restructure in 2018 where we had 2-year campuses that are now part of our 4-year campuses. So UW Green Bay operates on what we call a 4-campus, 1 university model, meaning that we have 4 different locations, but it is all UW Green Bay. So the Green Bay campus is our largest campus. That campus has 7,500 students. Our Marinette and our Manitowoc campuses have about 250, and then our Sheboygan campus has about 500 students. So you'll see that we have a 16-county footprint over that northeastern area of Wisconsin. Really just allows us to meet the educational needs of students closer to their home a lot of times, find the right options for them. We do have bachelor's degrees available at all 4 locations. That is new starting this fall. We're super excited to roll out some of those bachelor's programs at the Marinette, Manitowoc, and Sheboygan locations. But we do still offer those 2-year associate degrees at those locations as well. My presentation today is going to focus a bit more on the Green Bay campus, but I would really encourage you, if you are interested in any of our locations in Marinette, Manitowoc, or Sheboygan. First of all, it is only one admissions process, no matter where you're going. So as an admissions counselor, I work with students across all locations, so please don't hesitate to ask questions about any of them. But also we have some really great visit options on our website as well that will give you a whole bunch more information about any of those campuses if you are curious. So to start off, we have a motto that is learn, do, be more. So we want you to learn more at UW Green Bay. Of course, since we're a college, we got to talk about that learning environment. Really one of the things that makes UW Green Bay great are our professors, our faculty members. So you'll see a couple of photos up here of some of our faculty members. I'll talk about each of them here. Down on the bottom left-hand corner, you will see Amanda Nelson. Amanda Nelson is an associate dean in our College of Science, Engineering, and Technology, and the chair of the Human Biology program. So human biology is going to be one of our most popular majors on campus, and it is designed to help students who are interested in the medical field. So you'll see a lot of students looking at that human biology major who are interested in pre-medicine. Amanda Nelson actually does research on our campus, which is a very big component for anybody looking into that health field. She does some hands-on research actually with our student athletes about maximizing their performance, some things like that. She is a certified athletic trainer, so really some cool things that she is able to do. And students get involved with that research right away, their very first semester on campus, all the way through when they're graduating. So lots of great opportunities for hands-on research within that program, as well as many of our others. Down on the bottom right-hand side in the glasses, you'll see Dr. Ryan Martin. He is in our psychology program, and he is definitely one of the most engaging speakers that I've ever listened to. He has a couple of different podcasts. So this picture you'll see here is actually one of his podcasts called Why I Rage. So he is an emotions researcher, specifically on anger. So a lot of his research areas and the things that he does are around the topic of anger and rage. He oftentimes likes to include students on his podcast, so that's what you'll see here. Some students that were in his emotions course, able to talk about some of the things that they were learning in the classroom and applying. So really great opportunities there. He also has a TED Talk, All the Rage, again, in that same vein of research with that emotions and anger. So really cool stuff that he's able to do. On the top right-hand corner there, you'll see Dr. Greg Eldreddy. He is in history. So I don't know how you all feel about history. Some people love history. Some people are like, maybe not so much. That's actually something that Dr. Eldreddy will ask at the beginning of each of his semesters, each of the classes he teaches. He wants to know why you're there. Are you there because you love history? You're a history major, you want to be a history teacher, whatever it is? Or are you maybe there because the class satisfies a general education requirement, or maybe it just fit into your schedule really well? He likes to make sure that no matter what your reason is for taking that class, that you get something out of it. One of the ways that he does that is this live action here. You'll see his students, he'll take them out. They have to create battle shields in the style of the day. He'll split up his group, half on offense, half on defense, and you actually have to respond to the other group in the battle formation that would have been used in that time period. So this one you'll see here is our ancient Roman civilizations course. So he was able to do that with his students out on our quad, have them respond to each other. Really fun way to get very engaged with that material. And then last but certainly not least, on the upper left-hand side in that bright red shirt is Jagadeep Thoda. He is one of our mechanical engineering professors. So something super exciting for UW Green Bay is we are now offering, as of last year, a full mechanical engineering program. And a brand new building, our STEM Innovation Center, that is a partnership with Brown County. So brand new building, lots of state-of-the-art lab spaces, brand new classrooms, all that good stuff. The picture you'll see here, he's with a couple of his students and working on one of the many 3D printers that our students get to use in their very first semester while they're on campus in any of those engineering areas. So lots of great things that our faculty members are doing, getting our students really engaged. One of the reasons we talk so much about those faculty members is because of our class sizes. So what you'll see here is the breakdown of our class sizes. About half of our classes are going to be less than 20 students. This means that any of those faculty members that I was just talking about, you're really going to have an opportunity to get to know them on a personal level. What are their research interests? What are you looking to get out of that class? What are your end goals? So lots of great opportunities to engage with those faculty members on a very regular basis and often on a first name basis. You'll see about 40% of our classes are between 20 and 40 students. So still pretty small. A lot of times this is kind of that range that maybe your high school classes fall into. So still a great opportunity to get to know those faculty members really well. We do have about 12% of our courses that are going to be above 40 students. We only have one lecture hall on campus that seats 200 students, and at no point do we have that filled. The most you would maybe see would be about 150, but really If you talk to any current UW Green Bay student, they will tell you that they have had one, maybe two classes in that lecture hall. And even if they do, typically those larger classes are still paired with a discussion section that does fall within that 20 person or less. So lots of, small classroom or small class sizes, some ability to get that hands-on, one-on-one attention with your faculty member. We also really like to highlight the fact that every single class is taught by that faculty member. So you'll see there that 94% of our faculty do have a PhD or the highest level of education in their fields. And that is the one that is going to be in front of you teaching that class every single time. We don't have any of our courses that are taught by teaching assistants or TAs. Another part of the kind of learning environment that maybe isn't so much the traditional classroom experience are things called high impact experiences. On average, UW Green Bay students graduate with at least one of these on their resume. These are things like internships, job shadows, research, study abroad, all of those different opportunities for students to get some of that hands-on experience that, like I said, isn't in a traditional classroom setting. So a couple of examples here you'll see up on the upper right-hand side, that is our recent graduate, Sydney. Knowing that we're in Green Bay, you should maybe recognize where she's standing. That is Lambeau Field. So Sydney was one of our Packer interns this past year for the Green Bay Packers. So she is a business student interested in marketing and sports communication, and was able to be an intern with the Green Bay Packers on the field every home game, pregame, all the way through postgame, helping out the Green Bay Packers with whatever marketing needs they had. So really great opportunity for her, and got to put the Packers on her resume, which pretty unheard of, pretty well-known name, some might argue the best NFL team there is, but I might be a little bit biased there. But really great opportunity for Sydney to work for such a large organization. Next to her up top, you'll see Jared. Jared was a triple major. So he also just graduated. He was a major in human biology, chemistry, and political science. So Jared here, you'll see him. He actually got to be a teaching assistant alongside one of his faculty members from a political science course. From his first year, he absolutely loved political science and was able to be a teaching assistant and help with a discussion section alongside one of his faculty members while he was a senior at UW Green Bay. So really gave him an awesome opportunity to not only get some even more specific one-on-one time with that faculty member, but really learn a lot more about classroom management, curriculum developments, how to engage in discussion sections, things like that. Down below him on the bottom left, you'll see Sam Soda. He was also a human biology major, really interested in the medical field. Didn't quite know where within the medical field, but knew somewhere. So we actually used job shadows to help him figure out where he wanted to be. Green Bay is the third largest city in the state of Wisconsin, so we have quite a bit of healthcare. So we have some three really big name healthcare systems up here. And so he was able to find a lot of different opportunities to job shadow, ended up shadowing an optometrist. He's worn glasses his whole life, didn't really realize that that would be something he would want to do. But sure enough, that ended up being what really sparked his interest. So he's actually now at Indiana University pursuing his PhD in optometry. And then down on the bottom right there, you will see Taylor. Taylor is a psychology student who did her own original research on high impact experiences and the development that they provide our students both in and out of the classroom. So really a lot of what we know about the benefits of these different opportunities comes from Taylor's research, because she researched her fellow students at UW Green Bay and about the development that they saw through doing these high impact experiences. So like I mentioned, Green Bay is the third largest city, got a lot of industry. You'll see on the left-hand side of the screen there, the most common companies that our students do these job shadow internship experiences with, going to be lots of bigger names. We've got, public, private companies, for-profit, not-for-profit, healthcare, education, really anything you could want to get experience in. We've got some companies that are going to be able to give you that. So of course you're going to learn a lot while you're at Green Bay, but hopefully you're going to do a lot as well and get really involved on campus. We do have about 130 different student organizations. So everything from major-based, organizations to just general interest-based to identity-based. So things like religious identities, ethnic identities, things like that. So lots of different organizations for you to get involved in, and find some leadership positions in there as well. Those organizations, in addition to our Office of Student Life, put on over 1,000 events every single year. So that averages out to about 2 per day between the fall and the spring terms. So never a dull day on campus. Just a couple of examples up here on the right-hand side, you'll see we do a gourmet s'mores bar every year at the beginning of the term so that our students, particularly our incoming first-year students, are able to meet each other, get some free food, kind of hang out in a casual environment to get to know one another. On the top left-hand side there, you will see a photo from our Crash the Crest event, which is actually our homecoming. So our homecoming does take place in the spring around our basketball season. So typically this is a day that we have both a men's and a women's basketball game. We have that typical homecoming environment, free food, live music, all that fun stuff, lots of school spirits. And then at the bottom, kind of a notorious event on our campus is Battleship. So this is 25 canoes that are in our Crest pool. The Crest Event Center is an event center, also our workout space, and we take 25 canoes, 4 people to a canoe, everybody with a bucket or a kickboard, and the last canoe floating wins. That's it. That's all the rules. Really intense, really fun event. Students, I know it's a bucket list, no pun intended, event for students to take part of. So whether you want to do the more casual kind of s'mores bar over there or the more intense event, we have a lot of different things going on campus at all times. In addition, we are Division One. So we are one of 4 schools in the state of Wisconsin that compete at the Division One level. We are part of the Horizon League. Our men's basketball, women's basketball have been very good these last couple of years. Women's volleyball has as well. Sadie Peterson up there in the top, one of our Nordic skiers, got 13 different sports. So we've got lots of different things happening as far as athletics. Really, the biggest thing to know as well is that it is free for every single student to attend any athletic event. All you have to do is show up with your student ID. So that's kind of unheard of for a Division I school. So it's important to take advantage of that, support your fellow Phoenix. Those of you who maybe are interested in theater, music, or dance, we certainly do have those majors. We do have 45 different majors on our campus, a little bit over that actually now. But we do have those majors. In addition, we also have a lot of students that just want to continue to participate in these things, even though it's maybe not their major. So if you are, let's say you play an instrument or you're really involved in choir or you like to be in plays, we have a lot of opportunities for students and you don't have to be that major. So for example, that bottom photo there, that is our strings ensemble. Students are able to take a 2-credit strings ensemble course to participate in this, counts towards degree credit, satisfies a fine arts general education requirement, and a lot of times is just something students really enjoy doing and being a part of. So whether you are currently involved in these things, like I said, theater, music, dance, any of those, and you want to continue that, or if it's something you've always wanted to try, we certainly have quite a few opportunities for students to take advantage of. So we always talk about our campus being kind of the best of both worlds. So in a little bit here at the end, I'm going to pull up our virtual tour to give you a little bit of an idea of where we're situated in the city of Green Bay. So we are not located right downtown. We are a little bit northeast from the downtown area, which essentially gives us our own heartbeat in the community of Green Bay. So you're going to have students and faculty and staff and community members that are on our campus that are all serving our mission, right? They want to see you succeed. They want to give you every academic and social opportunity that you can on campus, but you're also never more than 10 to 15 minutes away from literally anything else that our city has to offer. So if you've been to Green Bay, many people obviously know us from that bottom right-hand corner photo. That of course is our Lambeau Field where our Green Bay Packers play. Our home team certainly do not have to be a Packer fan to come to UW Green Bay, though it does help. couple of fun things with them. We are the official higher education partners with the Packers. So certainly they sponsor some scholarships. We do some events at Lambeau Field. Those cheerleaders, which you can see down in the end zone, those are our Phoenix cheerleaders. So the same cheerleaders that you see cheering on our Green Bay Phoenix each and every home game, you will also see them at the home games for the Packers. So really fun opportunities to get involved and really just be a part of that kind of game day atmosphere. To the left, you'll see there's a photo of the Titletown district. So that's really been revitalized in these last couple of years. It's that area all around Lambeau Field, really more welcoming, gonna have a full-size turf football field. We do have an ice skating rink and a sledding hill because let's be real, we live in Wisconsin. We're located in Wisconsin. We have winter for a lot of months. So we do have some fun winter activities as well. Lots of great food in that area. Lots of fun partnerships coming around in that Titletown area. So not just Lambeau Field, but kind of that surrounding area going to have a lot to do. That top left picture you'll see is our downtown area. That is right along the Fox River, going to give you more of that kind of boardwalk feel. So there is a literal boardwalk that runs along. You're going to have some shops, restaurants, live music, farmers market, all of those things that you can expect out of a big city. We certainly have here in Green Bay as well. Then, of course, up in the top corner there, I don't know if you recognize who that is, but that is Jesse McCartney. That was a pretty big show for us these last 2 years. He came to our Widener Center for the Performing Arts. So the Widener Center is a public performing arts venue that is located directly on our campus. It's a 2-minute walk from some of the residence halls, very close. We try to bring as many performances as we can that students will really enjoy. So if you're familiar with Charlie Barron's from the Manitowoc Minute, he's kind of been a YouTube, Facebook sensation. We had Daya, Sit Still, Look Pretty, Daya. We had Blue Man Group last year. That was pretty fun. So lots of different opportunities for students to go and see shows there. Really, one of the greatest things is that we have something called flash seats, which is $13 tickets for any show at the Widener Center, and that includes Broadway musicals. So oftentimes Broadway is going to be, $50, $100, even more than that dollars, and our tickets are going to be $13 for students. They are not unlimited tickets. It is a set amount, but certainly if there's a show you want to go see, we're going to try and make sure that you have the most affordable option for it and not have to go too far. Getting close to the end here, and this is what we want to see from everyone who comes to UW Green Bay is that success with their degree. So we have a couple numbers tied around our graduation that we're really proud of. That top number you see there, that 59% of our students are hired before they even graduate. So before you even walk across the stage and have that diploma, you actually already have a job offer in hand. A lot of this has to do with those high impact experiences. So those job shadows, those research, those internship opportunities that are allowing our students to get that real world hands-on experience and make them even more employable prior to even having that degree. You'll see that bottom number there, 97% of our students are either employed, continuing their education, or a combination of both of those things, or actively into the military within 1 year of graduation. So you'll see the breakdown there of students, 97% postgraduate success rate. Again, really proud of our graduates and always try to make sure that they have everything that they need to be successful once they graduate. And then, as with every campus, we have our traditions. This is kind of the place that I want to encourage you all to come visit us on campus if you're able to. We do have campus tours happening. So we have limited capacity tours twice a day, one at 9 a.m. and one at 1:30 p.m. So if you go to our website, uwgb.edu/visit is where you can find all of your options to come visit us. One of the stops on this tour will be at our shoe tree. This is where our graduates take those pair of shoes that they wore all across campus and you throw them up into the shoe tree and you leave a piece of your soul on campus. So fun opportunity for students to come back later on and see those shoes. And we also say, you're already ready to buy a new pair of shoes because you have a salary, because you got a job before you even graduated. So it's a perfect time to buy a new pair of shoes. So really encourage you, if you are interested, come see us on campus. We'd love to have you and we'll show you the shoe tree. Another question that we do typically get is, do I have to stay in Green Bay? Do I have to stay in Wisconsin? After I graduate, what are the opportunities available? We've got students doing just a little bit of everything. So if your goal is to stay in Wisconsin and even in the Green Bay area, Matt Becker is your guy down in the bottom corner there. Matt was a communication student interested in photojournalism, particularly in professional sports photography. So while he was a student here, he had one of my favorite job titles ever. He was the assistant to the assistant photographer for the Green Bay Packers. So really awesome opportunity for him to work for the Packers, get to build that professional sports portfolio, photography portfolio, excuse me. When he graduated, they didn't have a position open at the Packers, so he ended up working for ESPN for a little while, which really, really solidified his love of that photojournalism. Ended up keeping his connections in Green Bay, and sure enough, when a position opened up and he interviewed, he still knew a lot of the folks, and he was hired as one of the team photographers for the Packers. So he is still one of our team photographers, gets to travel with the team. So that is somebody who knew he loved Green Bay and wanted to stay here. So really capitalized on being here. On the other side, on the left-hand side there, you'll see Ben. Ben was a business student interested in marketing, did an internship with a radio company up in Sturgeon Bay when he was a student. That same radio station hired him before graduation, so he worked for that small radio station up in Sturgeon Bay, which is just at the entrance of Door County, if you're familiar with Wisconsin. He was able to, because it was such a small company, get his hands in just about every aspect of marketing. So really when it came time for him to look for that next thing, he had a lot of experience because he worked at the smaller company. Ended up getting hired by a company called 2K Games. It's a huge gaming company. Hired him to be a consultant. He got to travel all around the country working for them. Through that, actually met somebody from a little company called Netflix who really loved his experience, again, with having all of those different different marketing opportunities and ability to kind of see all the different sides of marketing. And he was hired to work on their Netflix original film series campaign. So if any of you have watched a Netflix original film recently, Ben was probably one of the people that made you want to do that. In the middle there, you'll see Desiree. So Desiree was really interested in marine biology. Green Bay is not located on an ocean, so we don't actually have a marine biology program, but she was actually able to work with one of her professors who had some connections out at the Sea Life Conservatory out in Maine. So she was able to go out there for an internship between her junior and senior years. She got to work with baby seals, as you can see the picture there, make sure that they are growing and healthy and going to be ready to go back out into the wild. And she's actually now pursuing her PhD with marine animals. So really cool opportunity for her, and it was one of her connections with a faculty member who knew somebody out at that conservatory in Maine that got her connected. So she was able to do that internship that counted towards credit at Green Bay while she was still a student, and she is now still out in Maine. And then Lorenzo up on the top right-hand side there in front of that TEDx sign, he was a student in our psychology program, really interested in mental health and brain behavior, and was actually able, with the help of one of his faculty members, to give a TEDx talk while he was a student at UW Green Bay. So really, recognizable name. And he actually, when we reached out to him to talk to him a little bit about his experience, said that that was one of the things that he was asked most often about when he was applying for his master's and PhD programs, was this TED Talk that he had. Because he was able to do something like that while he was still an undergrad, again, that really big name was a great opportunity for him to have that on his resume, have that experience. And he is now pursuing his PhD at Washington University in brain behavior and health. So we've got students doing just a little bit of everything. So hopefully this will be you one day. We can be talking about you and all the wonderful things that you are doing after your degree from UW Green Bay. So I do want to touch a little bit about admissions to UW Green Bay. We do use the UW system application, which is open for the fall of 2021 right now. So anyone who is interested in applying for any of our 2021 terms, you are able to do so. With that application, we do an individualized holistic review. So in addition to the application, we will need transcripts, so any high school or college transcripts that you've completed. If you apply before October 31st, we do have a donor who is covering all application fees for all students for any 2021 term through October 31st. So I'd really recommend, if you are looking at applying this year, for the coming year, to apply before October 31st. So online application, high school or college transcripts. You don't have to worry about an application fee, though it usually is $25. And then we are test optional. So if you've taken the ACT or the SAT and you would like that to be considered as part of your admission, we're happy to do that. You can still submit that and we will review it. However, that is not a required part of your application. So it is up to you if you'd like to submit that. We do still encourage students to submit. This is a great question. Are you test optional with scholarships as well? So the answer to that is sometimes. So we have some scholarships that are going to be that you would be eligible for without submitting an ACT or an SAT score. However, we do have quite a few scholarships that are still considering test scores as part of that process. So what I would recommend for you, if you're able to and you want to, do still submit that test score, because that will allow you then to maximize all of your scholarship opportunities. If you are either concerned about your test score, or we recognize that some students didn't have the opportunity to take the test due to the global pandemic that we are in. So I really encourage you. I will have my contact information at the end of this presentation. And I really encourage you to reach out, because I'm happy to talk through both situations, what the situation looks like if you do submit your score, as well as what the situation looks like if you don't submit your score. So yes, it is optional, but we do still use it for some scholarships. So we do generally recommend for students to submit a test score. Thanks for submitting that question. So that's the admission process. Really what we want to see from you is to hear from you in that essay. That essay is your opportunity to kind of sit in the room with us when we're trying to make that admissions decision. So like I said, it's an individualized, holistic review, meaning that we look at you as an applicant and don't compare you to anybody else. We look at your transcripts, if you provide test scores, as well as that essay, to make the best decision we can for you. Of course, we also want to talk about costs. It is important to know college is an investment. So you'll see the cost breakdown here. I do want to mention first that this is for a full year. So you'll see the tuition and fees. So that's what you pay to go to class. We do break out the books and supplies separately. That is an average for our students. So it is about $400 per semester, or about $800 for the year as far as books and supplies go. Those next two numbers you'll see there are for our residence halls. So we do have freshman housing, which I am going to show you here in just a moment. That is the number to live in that freshman housing for one full year. If you do live in that freshman housing, we do require a meal plan because you do not have a kitchen in your room. So that is the number for the unlimited one full year of a meal plan. So just wanted to give you the cost breakdown here. We have a lot of really great resources for not only the cost breakdown, but lots of different financial aid resources on our website. So I'd really encourage you, if you have questions about any of these numbers or how to finance your education, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. With that, I am going to jump over to our online virtual tour to leave you with UW Green Bay's 4 T's. So a couple of different things that you can see here as far as our UW Green Bay's 4 T's. T, like the letter T. The first one I already talked about is our teachers. So our teachers, like I said, really are what set us apart, you know, and we have some really fantastic faculty that really work with our students individually to make sure that we're, you know, giving you the experiences that you need, helping you meet those goals. The second T is trees. So what you'll see here, you're seeing an aerial view of our campus. As I mentioned, we are not located right downtown. We're kind of set away from the downtown area, kind of up on the northeast side of Green Bay. This right here is the Bay of Green Bay, and you'll see we have a bunch of trees all around us. That is because we have a 290-acre arboretum that surrounds our surrounds our campus, and there's over 6 miles of hiking and biking and walking trails all around our campus. So trees, that natural beauty, you're going to see a lot of that. Any of you who are interested and enjoy being out in nature, you will find plenty of that on our campus. We really do have just a gorgeous campus set right up on the water. We do own all of the land up to the bay. So just some gorgeous areas there, lots of trails that'll take you around our entire campus here. So first T is teachers, second T is trees, the third T is tunnels. So if you aren't aware, like I said, we're in Wisconsin. We actually have tunnels that connect each and every one of our academic buildings here. So you'll see the library right here in the center of our campus. That really is the center of campus. And we have tunnels that lead off of each of these sides of the library to get you where you need to go without having to go outside. I promise you our tunnels are not scary. They are actually just the first floor of many of our buildings that are connected. Lots of natural light. They really just look like hallways. But of course, in order to fit into our T's, we do call them tunnels. So you will see each of the different academic buildings here are all connected. As I mentioned, we do have one brand new building, our STEM Center, that is not quite yet connected to that tunnel system. Though my joke is always, if you're going to put a bunch of engineers in a building and tell them they have to walk outside in the winter, I have no doubt that they're going to engineer something to get them connected to not have to walk outside. So again, all of these buildings that you see in the center are academic buildings, and these are going to be connected to the tunnels. Our last T, so we had teachers, trees, and tunnels. You might laugh, but our last T is actually toilets. The reason for that, we do have housing offered on campus, and every single room has their own private bathroom, meaning that we do not have shared bathrooms amongst floors. It is just you and your roommate that share your bathroom. So I am going to highlight our housing here briefly. So right here you'll see this is our residence halls. So these kind of collection of buildings here are that typical first year residence hall. You'll see this is the lounge space that we offer. And then I'm going to jump over to our floor plan. So this is what a typical freshman residence hall room will look like. So you have a bed that's provided for you, desk, chair. We do have dressers that you can't see right now because they're actually pushed under those beds, as well as, like I said, a private bathroom. So that is why our fourth T is toilets, because every student does get to have their own private bathroom in their room. So you'll see our freshman residence hall here, as I mentioned, does not have a kitchen. So that is why we do require that meal plan. However, there is a full kitchen within that lounge space. So you do still have access to a kitchen. It's just not necessarily in your room. But you do have a toilet and a shower that is in your room with the sink broken out separately. So you and your roommate can get ready at the same time. The next style of housing that we have are what we call our shared apartments. These are 2-bedroom apartments shared with one other person in your room. So what you'll see is this does have a full kitchen as well as a living room area, kind of a casual hangout spot area. You do have 2 bedrooms, as I mentioned, kind of similar to the residence hall room where it's 2 beds, 2 desks, 2 dressers, all of that. 2 bedrooms each, so 4 people total in here. You have a double sink because there are 4 of you, as well as that toilet and the shower in there as well. So that's the floor plan for our shared apartments. Typically, sophomores and juniors are going to occupy these style or that style. Our last style of housing is going to be our private apartments. So these are a bit larger. This is going to be a single room for each of the 4 residents. So you'll see here 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms. Again, bed, desk, dresser, all provided. You do have the living room space as well as a little dining area and a full kitchen. You do have a separate room here for the shower, for the toilet, and then that same double sink. So that's just a quick overview of our housing. Certainly toilets are not a reason to pick a college, but it certainly can go in the pro column. So if you don't want to be sharing a bathroom, definitely something to check out here, because you only have to share with those couple of roommates that you maybe picked out. So do just want to mention that nobody is required to live on campus. We do have about 2,000 students that do live on campus each year, and about 80% of our incoming first year class every year do typically live in that housing. I do also want to mention each building is not necessarily connected to our tunnels. However, this University Union here, which is the closest building to all of our housing, is connected to the tunnels. So typically it's about a 1-minute walk from here and about a 5-minute walk from here to get into that concourse system or that tunnel system. So hopefully that gives you just a nice little overview of what our campus is like, some of the things that you can expect. I do want to say thank you so much for joining me today and listening to my presentation as promised. Here is my contact info. Please do not hesitate to reach out. I am more than happy to answer any questions that you have about UW Green Bay, about our programs, about our amazing housing, anything that you can think of. Happy to answer that, so please don't hesitate to send me an email. If you have any remaining questions, please feel free to put those in that Q&A. Requirements for pre-med. So as of right now, there is not any specific requirements to get into what our pre-med program is. So our pre-med is typically our human biology program with our health sciences emphasis. So we don't have like a pre-med major, but human biology is going to be that most common one. And then we have a health science emphasis that gets you some of the requirements that you would need as far as looking into medical school. And then we also have advisors who work specifically with any student who is interested in pre-med, particularly during that junior and senior year, to help you through that application process and make sure that you are the most competitive applicant that you can be. So we've got lots of resources for our pre-med students, lots of research opportunities, but we don't have any set requirements as far as getting into that program. It is just a declaration process for that major. I see another question here. What is the education major like? So our education major, we have a couple of different options. We do have a few different licensure options. So that's kind of what the difference is that you'll see there. Generally speaking, you're gonna see anybody who is looking to teach at like a kindergarten through kind of that early middle school area is going to be an education major and then have a minor that they pick up. So maybe you'll pick up a minor in art or music or science or something else like that, because typically teachers in those areas are gonna teach multiple different subject areas. Those of you who are maybe looking at more of the middle to high school range for education, you're going to be looking at actually a specific subject major. So if you're looking to be a math teacher, you would major in math and minor in education. So those are some of the differences that you'll see as far as the education major. Do want to mention that every single student who's in our education major or minor program does have the opportunity to have at least 3 placements within an actual classroom. So that's a really great perk of being in our education program, is we make sure you have plenty of mentors and plenty of time to get into an actual classroom. I'll kind of go through these here quick. Can students bring cars on campus? Yep. Every single student can bring a car. We do not limit who can and who can't bring a car. You're more than welcome to. I have a question here. Are there on and off campus jobs for students? Yes, there are a lot of on-campus jobs. We do have a lot of students that work off campus. We have essentially a LinkedIn for just UW Green Bay called Handshake, which allows you to update your profile, put in a resume, and you can see job listings for both on-campus and off-campus jobs. It makes it super easy to apply for those jobs. So lots of opportunities there. Nursing, we do have a couple of different nursing options. I would really recommend, if you're looking into nursing, all of our nursing programs are going to be dual admission, meaning that you have to apply to UW Green Bay, and once you've been admitted there, then you would apply to a nursing program. So we have a partnership program with NWTC, which is our local technical college, as well as a full 4-year Bachelor of Science in Nursing program at UW Green Bay. So nursing is going to be dual admission. So I definitely recommend checking out our website. And please, if you have specific questions, again, take down my email and I'm happy to reach out and answer your questions, anything like that. I see another one here, environmental science. We have a great environmental science program. Been a staple at UW Green Bay for a very long time. We are considered an eco-U, meaning that environmentalism and sustainability is part of our founding. So going to be a great place for you to do that environmental science program and get a lot of really hands-on experiences. So that you really see a lot of students do research, whether it's in our arboretum, in the Bay of Green Bay, do internships with the DNR, lots of great opportunities for students interested in environmental science. And it looks like I am getting to time here. So if I did not get to your question, I will get a report of all of the questions, and I am going to make sure to reach back out to you and follow up on your questions. So look for an email from me. But again, I'd want to say thank you so much for joining me today.
All right, thank you everybody for coming in and spending a little time with Megan to learn more about the University of Green Bay. So after we end the webinar here, you will receive a quick survey. It's just 4 questions. So if you could fill that out and let us know what you thought of the session today, that would be great. And then just as a reminder, you can sign up for additional sessions by going to www.wacac.com. And then once again, the recording will be available for you on our website to share with family or anyone else who you think may benefit from learning more about the University of Green Bay. So thanks everybody for joining, and we hope you have an awesome day. All right, thanks Megan. Have a great night.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh
Thanks.
yeah, of course. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.